Back to Basics. It's Dana, Miss Danadress, and I'm your vlogger for today, which is actually tomorrow. Today is Sunday, January 4th, 2015, and this video will air tomorrow the 5th, 2015. Welcome to the new year. I am walking. It's the first walk that I have done really in weeks. And the first walk of the new year, and I am trying to do quite a number of miles today because in about 3 weeks I'm supposed to do a half marathon. Haha. Anyway, so I need to do about 6 miles today at least. So I've just started walking here in Arizona. For those of you who are around the country, you would think it's warm because we're in the 50s, but for us it's cold. So anyway, thought I would get this recording in really quickly. Apologies for any video quality, shakiness, etc. But there you go. Our question this week is about finding balance. And the question is something like, it's a balance check-in. And how well are we doing in balancing obligation and desire? If I go back to where I started my journey all along, one of the things that I was hoping to find was balance. I'm the type of person that I can pick 1 or 2 major initiatives in my life and really focus on those and do really well of them. And then a lot of other aspects in my life kind of go to heck. My focus on health and healthy eating and being connected to the weight loss community is I do really well for a while, and then I really still struggle with finding balance. So I don't think I've been doing very well lately in balance in a number of things related to my journey. So I'll kind of break it down in healthy eating. Definitely I have not found that I can balance successfully outside the bariatric, more kind of normal eating. So I have really struggled over the holidays having 1 serving of dessert or whatever. That seems to make me want more and more. So I picked VSG as a surgery because I had said at one point in time I didn't want anything to really be completely off limits forever, thinking that this was an effort to work in the balance theme. And I still would like to get there. I just don't feel like I do a very good job of it. Balance as far as my exercise, I think I'm doing a better job of that. I definitely am more active than I ever have been in my life. And I find that I manage 2 to 3 days of exercise pretty well. I'd like to make it more like 4 to 5. I really hardly can ever do 6 or 7. And that is really probably where, figuring out obligation versus desire is the change, I know depending on who you talk to, how much you're supposed to exercise varies, but I will never be a 7-day-a-week exerciser. So, I will consider that's not an obligation, but in order to, be healthy, I need to be more in the 5 to 6 days of range And I struggle with that for a lot of reasons, like we all do. We get busy. I still don't really like to exercise. I don't like to sweat. And, you know, taking time away from other stuff that is, quote, important. And you kind of have to just figure out what's more important. I'm doing a really bad job of balancing any social media kind of involvement or interaction with the WLS community. You know, there's really no obligation there except for just a pay it forward kind of business. But I have a really hard time with that. It seems like I can completely unplug or I can go overboard. I have a really hard time figuring out what the right balance is. I have never been a person who had trouble really taking in obligations that other people put upon me. I say no. I can say no pretty well. There's a little bit of tendency that I want to be superwoman and I don't want to admit that I can't do something. But as I've gotten older, I think I've been able to manage that even better. So I don't feel like I have a difficulty balancing, you know, outside obligations that other people put upon me. You know, my kids are grown, they're out of the house. My husband and I are empty nesters. So my life is less complex in some ways than those of you that have small kids at home and you still have to balance all that complexity. So, you know, for me, no, I haven't figured out the balancing act yet. It's not so much obligation versus desire as far as the obligation outside to other entities, but it's more the obligation of what it takes to live a healthy, active lifestyle. And I'm still struggling with that, definitely. This year, I've thought about, you know, what should my goals for 2015 be? I've really struggled to even articulate and figure that out. And I'll just say that 2015 for me, I've picked a word to think about. Distance 0.5. Sorry, that's my map, my fitness. 48 seconds. Current pace 8. My word is renew. And I really want to think and use 2015 to renew my mind, body, spirit. Spend some time thinking and understanding what all that means, and to make some mind, body, spirit goals. But for now, the early goal is to just figure out small baby steps. For my body, I'm working on, you know, getting my water / good liquid intake back to where it needs to be. Limiting my sugar and starchy carbs to some extent, and, you know, focus on protein first. I think that is going to help me get back to where I want on the scale. I'm up about 10 pounds in the last 3 months, and the majority of that is because of I know eating sugar and starchy carbs. So I think if I cut those out, it'll just make a difference. As far as the other part of my body journey, really is to make sure that I'm moving my body 3 or 4 times a week. I've toyed with the idea of picking up Susan, lap band Suzanne, her 100 miles a month walking. Not sure I'm ready to commit to that, but it's an idea out there. And but, you know, I want to be doing some walking or jogging or some kind of cardio 3 to 4 times a week, and strength training a couple times a week. And I really just want to commit to that. For my mind and my spirit, I think my biggest challenge is to take time to spend meditating or focusing in some way about what my inner desires are. And I've started an art journaling program to try to help me with that. I run a little challenge as far as not making that the newest obligation or obsession, or craziness about how do you this is for me, it's not for comparing with others, and not getting stressed about how pretty it is and not spending a lot of extra money to create this thing. So there's a little bit of challenge, but I've never done well with word journals, and I'm hoping kind of an art and creativity project would help me get there. I also want to spend some time every day looking at either some uplifting thoughts or quotes, or reading in short snippets. So I'm trying to figure out what that might look like for me. But that's what I'm doing to really think about my mind and my spirit. So no, I'm not really doing a great job, back to our question on balancing consistently. Every day is an effort. And if you think about balance and the concept of an old kind of scale that tips one side to the other, you can have a lot of stuff in balance, and then you add something into the mix, and then that one side can swing to make it heavier, and you can lose balance pretty easily. And definitely I'm in there, haven't got my equilibrium. So that's it. I think I was a little rambly. I hope your 2015 has started out good, and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.